When I'm hearing people say to black men, get in line, like, don't critique her. Don't say anything against her. Just fall in line.
Right.
Fall in line only makes sense if you're a Democrat. If you're a Democrat, she's a Democratic nominee, fall in line.
Right.
If you haven't trusted a single political party, a single political figure, if you haven't trusted legacy organizations or institutions, why are we telling men to get to fall in line instead of saying, wait a minute, give us an opportunity to introduce you to the real Kamala Harris, not the one you hear Trump talking about.
Right.
Kamala Harris 4 years ago didn't have a chance to say who she was, why she became a prosecutor, what it meant to her.
Right.
They didn't go, the Democrats didn't lay out her legacy of under her stead, 1,900 people were convicted on marijuana charges and only 45 served any time.
Right.
That she fought for. I don't want this to be no Kamala Harris commercial interview.
No.
But there wasn't an opportunity for her to tell her story. And as a result, all black folks in certain communities knew was she locked people up.
Yeah.
And from their perspective, that meant locking us up. And that was the story that was told.
Yeah.
So instead of telling black men fall in line, why aren't we saying just pause for a second, take the time to understand who she really is and let her earn your vote?
Yeah.
I have to believe Kamala wants to earn the votes of black men versus feeling like black men felt forced to vote for her.
No, that's great.
That's the challenge for me in this moment.
I came to Georgia 1 month after Stacey Abrams lost the first time to being governor. And all of the exit polls, Jeff, was she lost to Kemp, not because black men voted for Kemp, black men didn't vote. So our mutual mentor, Mr. Tommy Dortch, was rallying 100 black men and the Omegas and Alphas and the churches, but men wouldn't fall in line. Mm-hmm. So much of what we're seeing in social media space in terms of critique or objection is from black men.
But let's be straight up, though.
Yeah.
Like, let's really be straight up.
Yeah.
And, this is not going to be popular with some even of my friends. There is nowhere within the realms of the progressive movement that I ever felt like there was a priority on the issues of black men. Mm. I feel like the progressive movement, I'll never forget working with People for the American Way. And they were attempting to rally black preachers in support of gay marriage. And I asked, why are we doing this? Like, there wasn't some epidemic of black preachers against gay marriage. Right. They weren't talking about it. Right. It wasn't as if there were a gang of people within the black church trying to say same gender loving people saying marry me in the black church. I have one of my boys in Rwanda who always says to me, why do y'all let progressive white people make you believe that their issue is your issue?
Wow.
So there was this attempt, and I said, well, what are we doing for these black faith leaders? You are literally asking them to sacrifice reputation, consistency with dogmatic history. What are we doing for them? And they're like, what do you mean? This is where they should be. And I'm like, well, why? You literally are asking pillars of our community to risk reputation in the name of an issue that's not affecting where they are. And so I have long been troubled by how I have watched primarily white progressives manipulate black leadership in the name of being in line with a left and a far left that often has never had a level of intentionality around what black people needed.
That's powerful.
And black men have been the ones that have been like, I ain't falling for it.
Yeah.
Black women, because they primarily have held roles of leadership and been focused on communal service and leadership, have been the one that have tried to navigate that. But we saw what they did to our sister, Tamika, in the women's movement, the women's march. Those were white progressive women that murdered her in the name of her standing with Farrakhan. When she had been with them,
right.
When she stood with people that questioned her credibility in our community.
Right.
So I feel like that's a moment we're in right now where we act like Black men, by and large, are supposed to be progressive, when by and large, Black men have been conservative.
That's right.
And it is appalling to me that we are allowing people to demonize Black men in the name of them actually being their authentic selves, versus saying, brother, I see you.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what I hear you saying.
Right.
But let's get together so we make sure we're clear about what the truth is.
In this election cycle, what do you think are the salient issues that resonate with men that would push them to the polls? If you sit not with me, but with Vice President Harris, you would tell her she needs to address what?
Generally speaking, economic access and power. I'm tired of us talking to black people through a lens of survival versus thriving.
Yeah.
So we're on the spectrum. There are Black men who are trying to take care of families where they live in check to check.
Right.
There are Black men that are saying, how do I take my small business into a medium-sized business? There are Black men who are saying, how do I take my medium business and scale it so it can be global?
Right.
Let's stop pretending like there's not that spectrum, but it's money. The second piece is Black men are concerned about security of their families and their communities. Whether you live in a zip code that is low income and you're trying to figure out how do we end violence, or whether you're in a community surrounded by people who don't see you and you're trying to figure out how do I raise my kids privileged and Black.
Yeah.
But there is an issue of how do I ensure a level of safety for my family?
Yeah.
There's issues of what does the future look like by way of education, by way of access to resources? So I don't think it's confusing where Black men are. Black men are just the least polled demographic of anybody in America.
Wow.
So we keep saying that the things that either Black women who normally move more communally than Black men do is in lockstep. It's not in lockstep, but it's not divided. And so I think we got to talk about how men have been conditioned to find themselves in places of leadership or responsibility, and how, while those things may be nuanced, they're not disconnected from Black women.
No.